guys are gonna get sick of this outfit, aren't you? Hi, I'm Jess, and this is my book review of Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLaria. There will be a spoiler section in this video because I feel like I really just want to discuss it with people. So if you want to discuss it with me, just comment down below what you thought about it. I got this for review from Hotkey Books. That does not like make me say positive things about it. I gave it 5 stars on my own. It wasn't that I got it for review, so I need to give it 5 stars. I've given low ratings to books I've reviewed before. So yeah. I love this book. This book is about a girl called Laurel, whose sister has died, and she has been given a assignment in English to write letters to somebody who is dead, and she chooses Kurt Cobain because he died young, just like May did, her sister. I found the letters a really good thing because she wrote letters not just to Kurt Cobain but to people like Judy Garland and Amy Winehouse and Janis Joplin and some poets, E. Cummings I think, and River Phoenix and Heath Ledger, and you kind of got to find out not only about Laurel herself, but you also got to find out some bits about the celebrities and I found myself like googling them just to find out stuff about their death that she'd mentioned that I didn't really know, and I found a lot about Kurt Cobain and Heath Ledger and stuff like that because of this book, and I thought that was just really good because it's always good to learn some new things. But I thought this book just had so many layers and so much depth that I just really enjoyed it, and I'd recommend it to anybody, especially people who like Perks of Being a Wallflower, because it is very similar to Perks of Being a Wallflower, but I think for me it's more relatable because there's a girl character, and I feel like I've experienced like the outcomes of sexual abuse and what it does to people, and I feel like Ava DeLaria just got it so right. It was just perfect. It was exactly how I've experienced it. I myself haven't experienced sexual assault, but I know I've experienced closely people that have, and I feel like she just got it so right. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. And she just tackled a lot of issues really modestly and really well, and it just weaved in like a natural, realistic story. Like 2 of Laurel's friends are lesbians, but they kind of just kiss a bit and they think that that's wrong, so they don't tell anybody about it. And when Laurel sees them first kissing, they go, oh, you can join in, it's just a random thing we do, when really they just really like each other and they just are ashamed of it. And I think that's really realistic, and it's not like she's just been shoving things in that she just wanted to tackle those issues. It just feels like there's some people that have issues in their friendship groups. And all the secondary characters I loved. I loved Hannah, and I loved Natalie, and I loved Tristan, Kristen. Everybody was perfect. I felt like it was just as much of their story as it was Laurel's, and obviously you get to find out a lot about Laurel, but you also see the other characters grow and achieve their goals and whatever they wanted to do. Like Kristen wants to go to New York, and Tristan wants to start a band, and Natalie just wants Hannah to love her. And yeah, it's really good. So now I'm going to go on to the spoilery section because I feel like I need to discuss this because it's one of those books that you can have lively discussions about, and I just want to have a discussion about it. I loved Laurel, and I feel like this book got it so right. I loved her descriptions of her childhood with May, and I just think her real grievance with May at the end of the day is that May couldn't save her. May wasn't perfect enough to protect her from Billy, and the reason she's always like May was perfect, May was perfect, May was perfect is because she's kind of scared in her heart that May wasn't perfect, that May was just a human being, which she was. And I feel like, do you think May's death was an accident? I don't think it was. I think she's a lot like Kurt Cobain. I think everything got too much for her, and people around her were letting her down, and her boyfriend Paul wasn't very nice to her, and her friends didn't seem, from what Sky has said about her, her friends seem to have been letting her down, and she seems to have like gone off socially and become a bit introverted. And I feel like the last straw was that she'd let Laurel down in the way that she'd left her with somebody who was sexually assaulting her, and that she hadn't protected her in the way a big sister should. And I completely relate to May in that way. I'm not going to go into why, but I completely relate to May. I've been through that myself. Like, I've been the big sister who felt guilty that she couldn't protect the little sister, and although I haven't killed myself, obviously, because I'm here, it's got a lot sometimes that you feel so guilty that you don't know what to do, and you don't know if your sister will ever forgive you for not protecting her well enough. And I feel like Ava DeLaria just knocked that on the head. I just loved it so much. I feel like, and I don't even feel like, I know I connected with this book because of the what happens in it and stuff like that, but I don't feel like you have to understand, I don't think you have to have been through anything like what's happening in the book to appreciate it. I think it's such good prose, and I loved Sky and Laurel's relationship, and how neither of them were really ready to be together at the start. And Sky's mum, and the fact that when Sky said he beat up a guy because he took advantage of a girl, I was absolutely just in love with him straight away. I just thought that I just love him for that. Any guy who doesn't put up with sexual assault is a-okay for me. I love that about him, that he was this good guy that wouldn't be able to stand by and let a guy sexually assault his girlfriend and be okay with it and just be silent. He was active in it, which I feel like a lot of us should be, but probably aren't. And everybody is in danger of being passive in situations like that, and Sky just isn't. He's not passive in situations like that. He beat up this guy after May died, and he was such a good person, and I don't even care that he had a crush on May. Just, it was perfect. I feel like there was a lot of layers to Laurel, like when she would stand on the ledge, and I just felt like she was trying to be like May, because she felt like May, like the thing with Billy wouldn't have happened to May, but it did happen to May. As Guy's already said, Paul took advantage of May when she was drunk. We don't exactly know what happened because we're not in May's head, because May's not alive, but we know that Paul took advantage of May when she was very drunk and was not in a position where she could give consent naturally. I really just really enjoyed it. I really loved it, and I feel like anybody should read this, and Ava DeLaria got it right. She did it in such a nice way, and in such a, I'm crying just thinking about it, in such a way that if somebody who's been through it, like me or whoever, can see themselves in it. Like, I see myself in May, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but I know that I do. And if somebody who's been through something like that can see what they did in that situation in a book character, I feel like that's perfect, and it's absolutely just done so well. So that is my review of Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLaria. I really hope you pick this up, although everybody who hasn't already picked this up should have been gone if they didn't want to be spoiled, but just, I love it. So goodbye.